And welcome back to This Charming Lists. I apologize for that little break. I'm still learning the video editing software at home, even though I am a formally trained editor that I worked in TV and film, a lot of reality shows, but I feel like that was a lifetime ago. So let's return to the brief history of cannabis. Medical use of cannabis requiring the approval of a physician has been legalized in a greater number of countries. And I just wanted to insert a personal note here. I have recently moved from Texas, where it is illegal, to California, where it's super duper legal. And I have to say, the amount and variety of dispensaries here are mind blowing. I took my Texan friend who was visiting to a bougie one, and she loved it. It felt like it was out of the pages of a magazine or a fantasy. Shout out to March and Ash in California. No, I am not being paid by you in any way, but I just think you're awesome. And I went to one in the Bay Area that had an old-timey speakeasy vibe, complete with red velvet lounging couches. And after everything that this country has gone through and our political climate, I think we need it. And we need a cafe culture as well. I cannot wait until that becomes the norm here in the USA. And I am a user, clearly. And I'm a user mostly in a restrained, low-dosing kind of way. It makes me a better human, and it makes me a better mama, more patient, and definitely more fun. Do you hear what I'm saying? Parents, can you work with me? Do you understand? Back to the history of cannabis. Cannabis is indigenous to Central Asia and the Indian subcontinent, and its uses for fabric and rope dates back to the Neolithic age in China and Japan. It is unclear when cannabis first became known for its psychoactive properties. The oldest archaeological evidence for the burning of cannabis was found in Romanian kurgans, dated 3500 BC. That is a long time ago, and I have Romanian ancestry, although I have yet to travel there. It's on my bucket list, and probably also Transylvania for obvious reasons. Are they obvious? Vampires, castles, beer. Thank you, Romania. Scholars suggest the drug was first used in ritual ceremonies by Proto-Indo-European tribes living in the Pontic-Caspian steppe during the Chalcolithic period. Can anyone pronounce these words while high? Because if so, I would like to hear it. Some research suggests that the ancient Indo-Iranian drug soma, mentioned in the Vedas, sometimes contained cannabis. This is based on the discovery of a basin containing cannabis in a shrine of the 2nd millennium BC in Turkmenistan. Just add it in here in case people are wondering about the Vedas. The Vedas are a large body of religious texts originating in ancient India, composed in Vedic Sanskrit. The texts constitute the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature and the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. Now, certainly I mean no offense as a non-Hindu person talking about Vedas. The research suggests that cannabis may have been present in some of the substances mentioned in the Vedas. How freaking cool is that? Admittedly, this made me think of the Kama Sutra. I did a little research, and although the Kama Sutra is not a religious text, it's interesting to think of the powerful aspects of cannabis with regard to sex and sexuality, particularly in a text that the Western world is now so familiar with. This would be an interesting topic in and of itself, but moving on. Cannabis was known to the ancient Assyrians, who discovered its psychoactive properties through the Iranians. Using it in some religious ceremonies, they called it kunubu, meaning a way to produce smoke, a probable origin of the modern word cannabis. The Iranians also introduced cannabis to the Scythians, Thasians, and Dacians, whose shamans, the Kapnobatai, those who walk on smoking clouds, burned cannabis in fruitescences to induce trance. How cool is that? The plant was